who have traveled from Ibadan off of the road. And forest is subjected to it. Hectares per year over period 2005 to 2010, according to Bata et al. 2013. According to statistics, tropical forest lost in 2022 total 4.1 million hectares, the equivalent of 11 football fields in the world. And all this forest loss produced 2.7 carbon dioxide emission, which is equivalent to what India emits from the fossil fuel that they use. And when you see those tables, table 1, for example, you will see Nigeria coming top. In fact, Nigeria lost, we were the highest, we're the worst deforestation, we are the worst deforestation state, according to the year 2005. 57.7% of our primary forest was lost. And you can see the highest deforestation in natural forest. Brazil tops there. You can see the position of Nigeria. Nigeria is there, always represented in things that are not too pleasant. So, Vice Chancellor, sir, let me bring the issue of deforestation home. According to Olajuyibe 2023, he observed a serious reduction in forest cover in 5 forest estates in Oyo State. And he reported a loss of 42.2 to about 91.2 from Opara Forest Reserve and Igongon Forest Reserve. Gbadamosi and Ige 2023 also noted this. The NDV, which is the normalized different vegetation index value of 0.44 in 1984, reduced to 0.24 in year 2023. Not only that, the temperature of that forest rose from 25.2 degrees centigrade in 1984 to 26.9 degrees centigrade in 2023. And forest estates in Ondo State are now plantain farm, cocoa plantations, cannabis depots. Farmers now publicly demand for forest estate to be defrosted and deforested so that they can convert it to arable farm. Poverty-driven devastation of the forest has pushed several useful medicinal and food tree species, such as Prunus africana, Oba oleosa, and Anthachlorantha, to the brink of extinction. Deforestation, environmental degradation, and poverty. The next one. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, one is tempted to ask this rhetorical question. Do people destroy the forest because they are poor, or the people are poor because they destroy the forest? I have heard that poverty is sinking sand. When you find yourself in it, the more you try to get out, the more of which you find you keep going in. It's a sinking sand. So the livelihood of local communities depend on the forest. So forest is an integral part of the environment. As forests are removed uncontrollably, the environment suffers untold consequences, and livelihood of the people are threatened, thus instigating lack and poverty. Consequently, the vicious cycle. That's what I've shown in figure 4. It's a vicious cycle. Deforestation leads to environmental degradation, from there to poverty. As a local dialect in Ondo State says, deforestation is a pathway to self-destruction for mankind, especially in the making of the Earth's heating mantle. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, every keen observer, we agree that the environmental temperature have been increasing steadily. And that's what we see in figure 5 and figure 6. In figure 5, that shows that of Akure, and we see the temperature. You see it going up, that of the world is on figure 5, and in figure 6 is that of Akure. You can see the rising temperature. It keeps going up and going up and going up. And this phenomenon has thrown up the challenge of floods, prolonged dry spell, or sustainable rain-fed agriculture. With increasing temperature, ice at the polar region of the Earth continue to melt, and the water will find its way to the ocean. And these are resulting in ocean salt. And if we are not careful, cities along the coast, for example, New York, Lagos, Paris, and Tokyo, will become a thing of the past, just like the dinosaur of old. So, as a head gets warmer, the atmosphere is able to hold more water, leading to heavier precipitation when it rains, and a greater likelihood of flooding as a result. This phenomenon has wreaked havoc in many countries, such as Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia. The Vice Chancellor, sir, the Earth's climate is an historical fact. As a primary school student in the 1970s, rain starts in January and early February, and you can plant. And by September, when we are resuming, it will be dry season. But today, rain will not be stable until late March or April, late May or April in some instances. And when this happens, here in this part of the world, we are focused on rain-fed agriculture. So it destabilizes it. So when it is raining, it rains as if it's so hard, and when it's sunny, it's is as if the layer are removed. Pity those who will go to hell, because hell will be hotter than this. The causes of global warming, the greenhouse gases. Now, there are gases referred to as greenhouse gases, and what they do is that they promote the activity. On plate 7, that's where we see the greenhouse effect, of greenhouse gases on global warming. We can see, rather than the greenhouse effect, they will keep circulating. And when they are circulating, they cause a lot of havoc. Methane is 20 times, more potent than carbon dioxide. But in all the other gases, carbon dioxide is the one that has biological application. Why? Because it can be used in the process of photosynthesis. And what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is simply a process by which green plant like carbon dioxide to form the photosynthate. It is that photosynthate that we harvest as fruits, as bark of trees, or anything that we have. We must be very, very careful with that. Make us to look at the importance of forests at the local and regional level. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, forests occupy only 1/3 of the world's land area, but plays an integral role in the well-being of inhabitants as well as health of other life forms. Globally, the forest has the largest biodiversity. In fact, the tropical rainforest, the home biodiversity. Forest contributes to the ability of the earth to maintain its climate through photosynthesis and activities by absorbing that greenhouse gas. How I
So ahead, more trade organization, certainly, and get up then. Yeah.
Plan looks simple and fast.
conditions for regeneration of the species, in vitro regeneration of the endangered species through embryo culture, and conservation of the species propago in the stored germplasm at the Nagra. In my research on vine cutting technique in yam variety, Dioscorea species, I assessed the potential of mini tuber production through vine cutting propagation on 2 species of yam, Dioscorea alata and Dioscorea rotundata, and I was able to demonstrate the possibility of producing yam set from this technique. My research on mutation breeding of tomato, Solanium lycopersicum, using SSR technique, enabled me to determine genetic variability among selected accessions of tomato using morphological and SSR marker. Develop new genotypes of tomato with improved food quality and yield through induced mutagenesis and hybridization techniques. Assess the effect of gene and environment on the development. Mutagenesis in cowpea, as well as develop new genotypes of cowpea for drought and aluminum tolerance through mutagenesis and creation of hybrid. I equally established the optimal storage condition for tomato mutants. For tomato, mutant variety of tomato which are adaptable to akungba are the final stages of development. These tomato varieties are in the surgery room for ingression of palatability and enhanced taste. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, a man of many parts. Forestry, the theory and practice of all that constitute the creation, conservation, and scientific management of forests and the utilization of their resources based on stated objectives of establishment is a profession of many parts. It includes silviculture, wood science, forest economics and management, forest extension, remote sensing, biometrics, measuration of forest operation, social and urban forestry. I am equally a man of many parts. And my life has always been lived on 2 planes. That is I started traveling from age 8 when I was in primary 4. I hope someday I will live in a location. Presently, I live in Ibadan Akungba, work in 2 different faculties of agriculture and science, each in 2 departments, forest and wildlife. By the dint of grace, your benevolence, Director of Center of Entrepreneurship and Development, and Dean of Faculty of Agriculture at the same time, Meji. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I'm not just a of technology branches at the toll gate area, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, and in Odo-Ogbolu in Ogun State. As the chairman of the University Farm Committee, I established acres of teak plantation for the university at the Duani Farm and on campus. Breeding of agricultural crop was not only academic for me. There are people on this campus and in this auditorium today who ate the improved rice and tomato variety that came from our hybridization research table. Conclusion and recommendation. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the journey to Armageddon has been on for a while, but the forest being a biological concept could be redeemed with proper and appropriate intervention to play its ameliorative role on the climate of the digital generation and save the earth from blowing up with excessive heat. The commitment of world leaders who determines the policy direction, they also hold the checkbook It's very important in mitigating the impact of climate change, and these are crucial if we must reverse this ugly trend of increasing earth temperature. The following recommendations are made. Number one, immediate halt to deforestation, including giving out of large hectares of farmland to phantom industrialists whose activities impact negatively on the well-being of the people. In all the land leases in Ondo State, for example, no viable cottage industry to show for it. The unwarranted carbon emission and carbon conversion should be stopped. Number two, increase in quantum of small-scale forest holding, community forests, groves, plantations, as the era of multinational dollar afforestation projects seems to be over. Number three, bring back a robust and efficient state forestry service to adequately control and police the forest estate under their respective jurisdiction, especially the exploitation of resources of such forests. Our forests should be revenue basis and not dens for kidnappers and murderers. Number four, recalibration of the management principle of our forests to embrace and emplace sustainable model, SYM, such that what is harvested is what the tree has produced for the year. Number five, the percentage of the budgetary provision for ecological fund should be set aside yearly for the establishment and maintenance of forests. Number six, forests should be established in each ecological zone of the country to domesticate and conserve the useful and important species endemic in each area. The maintenance of such forests should be from statutory budgetary provisions. Number seven, we don't have another hurt than this. Public enlightenment on the dangers of bush burning should be intensified. An appropriate punishment of imprisonment and heavy fines should be meted out to arsonists who set bushes and forests on fire, destroying monumental resources in the guise of hunting for wild animals. Number eight, students should be encouraged to study forestry and all its components as a profession, because the challenges at hand and what lies ahead requires a well-trained workforce to counter. Number nine, governments at the national and state levels should form a synergy towards reviving the moribund paper mill scattered all over Nigeria and stop the shameful capital flight in importation of pulp and paper products. We can produce enough paper for our need and for export. Number 10, the poverty index in the tropical countries of the world where large forest estates are located should be addressed, South America and Africa. We cannot be poor and hungry people as regards preservation of biodiversity and conservation of forests. Farmers should embrace, number 11, farmers should embrace climate smart agriculture in order to survive the changing climatic conditions. Yam tubers are becoming exorbitant, and we cannot continue to cut the precious tuber for planting. Research on production of yam sets from yam vines should be scaled up and funded adequately to address the food crisis in Nigeria. The production of new Akungba tomato variety with increased palatability traits, which will be adaptable to the local conditions, should be funded to push it to the table of consumer. Number 14, rice breeding research on improvement of Ofada rice variety in AUA should be encouraged with proper and adequate funding. In conclusion, in the words of FAO 2022, there will be no healthy economy on an unhealthy planet. Environmental degradation is contributing to climate change, biodiversity loss, and the emergence of new diseases. Forests and trees can play crucial roles in addressing this crisis and moving towards sustainable economies. Therefore, there must be urgent halt to deforestation activities, maintain forests, restore degraded land, and expand agroforestry and embrace sustainable use of forests. It is time we equally review the use of fire in our environment. Does the way we use fire have anything to do with our religiosity and penchant for cutting down Holy Ghost fire on everything and anything in Nigeria? Burning of refuse, tires, firewood, and debris that send thick smokes into the atmosphere causes carbon imbalance in the atmosphere. It increases the greenhouse gases in the environment, thus unnecessarily eating up our planet. In the same token, farmers must accept the fact that things are not what it used to be. Ọmọ ajá, ó ti kúrò lóye tá ń tà tẹ́lẹ̀ o. They must embrace climate change adaptation, including climate smart agriculture, with the planting of high-yielding variety, drought, and disease-resistant crop variety, as well as irrigation practices. Most of the factors predisposing our planet to warming are triggered by human activities. So, if we cooperate with relevant agencies and other stakeholders and be more rational in the use of natural resources, we can reverse the gradual change of the earth to heating hell. Together, we can reverse the gradual but steady march to the heating hell. The earth bequeathed to mankind by the loving God, if we take necessary steps. Acknowledgements. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I am not self-made. I am God-made. I am a product of grace, assisted by people he graciously brought my way in the journey of life. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to acknowledge them. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Olubenga Ige, my big brother and friend. There is no better way to describe you. Each time I remember how you stood by me in my pains. In 2021, you came all the way to Ibadan to see us when I lost my daughter. In 2016, 2017, when the allelopathic Iginla was ravaging, you stood by me. In 2019, when my mother died, you were with me. Igba iponju la more, Vice Chancellor, I'm grateful to you and your lovely wife, Chief Mrs. H.F. Ige. I thank the principal officers of the university, Professor Adebisi Daramola, DVC Admin, Professor Olusegun Akiwumi, DVC Academics, Mr. Olubenga Arajulu, the registrar, Mr. Toby Orino, my Egbon, the bossa, Dr. Mrs. Doreen Olorunfemi, University Librarian. I appreciate Professor Olufemi Mimiko, the Vice Chancellor par excellence, for the roles he played in my becoming a professor. Under his leadership, I grew in leaps and bounds. He encouraged me, like my late father, and Daddy Barry Roju, to engage and interrogate issues without fear, but with utmost objectivity. Professor Ladele Awobuluyi, the former acting Vice Chancellor, under whom I learned how to anchor student disciplinary committee meetings, and whose support I enjoy as I cut my teeth as an HOD in 2008. Your support is hereby acknowledged, Daddy. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, God bless me with people in AUA who I benefited from their love, guidance, and counsel that have shaped my career development. Professor Ayo Fasidi and Professor Sio Abolo, your blessed memory, they were my bingers of coming here to AUA. Left to Professor Sio Abolo, I have been a professor since 2011. Professor Lushola Ibukun, who taught me some good administrative skill when I was the sub-dean of postgraduate school under him. Mama wa Professor Oluyemisi Adebowale. Pastor, this is the Professor Adebowale that I used to talk about. And my Egbon, Professor Emmanuel Ogunbodede, thanks for your guidance in my career pathway. I'm very grateful. I cannot forget my teachers. May not be able to name all of them, but I will remember my late teacher and mentor, Dr. Oluwatayo Oni. Is of blessed memory. I miss you sorely. My students, former and present, who went through Gbadamosi knife, thank you for yielding to my guidance and correction. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, God surrounded me with covenant friends in my journey of life. These people are special to me, and in no particular order. Okunoluda is watching. We have come a long way. Thank you so much. I let the act of God into which I was arrested in life. That's the apostolic of supervision. We have walked in and you might and I think that will be the we are not going to get down by the son of the thank you for all that you have done. I must acknowledge my comrade and my brother Aaua to acknowledge IDA and my big brother that we went together in community development. And I cannot leave now than to acknowledge the KBC of my town, the only Dogun of Idogun, and the only Dogun in council. Where Baba? My aburos of life, those that God brought across my way, even though I was the last born. Isaac Olorunda and Abiodun Banjoko. Thank you very much. The New Covenant Church, Samonda, under the able leadership of Reverend Biodun Adesina. They are here, the pastoral team, the church members. Thank you for standing with me through the thick and the things. My life has benefited from the encouragement and kindness of these mothers in Israel. Mama Anima Shaun, she's here, and several of them, Mama Longe, Mama Notish, and all of them. My friend and brother and pastor, Professor Jide Ajidan, and his wife, Professor Mrs. Olawumi Ajidan. Thank you for all that you do. The prayer team of New Covenant Church, Samonda, I'm grateful to you. And my brother Sunday Zika. Families. I am grateful for the roles you played in my life. My in-laws, those in Nigeria and the diaspora, Mommy Adebusoye, Tokpe, Mommy Ore, Nike, Shade, Tunde, and Deji and their family. You are well. And my father-in-law, that did Martin Adebusoye of blessed memory. You are always in my thought. So my children, who brought the burden of my walking far away from home, hence not always around for most time. Ife Oluwa, Ade Oluwa, Ogo Oluwa of blessed memory. Ayoluwa, thanks for the sacrifice. Nothing captures this most vividly than in 2013. I came back from a long overseas journey, training journey, and my youngest daughter did not allow me to carry her. Then my eldest daughter told her and said, "This is Daddy. He is not always around, but you will get used to it." Is that not the truth? I was not there when Ogoluwa was born. I was not there when he left. But in all, God is good. So, finally, it's often said, when you are full, you cannot eat further. God has served Bamidele Aderonke, my wife, on my plate. There has never been the need to eat garbage. I'm grateful for your support. It is only Yajeje that you are that can cope with my high octave thinking and working. You ensure the home front is stable for me to move around freely. And I have done that knowing I have a home to return to anytime. I love you. I dedicate this inaugural lecture to the Almighty God, who has been my strength and kept me from the snares of the evil one, and to the memory of my late daughter, Gbadamosi, and my late parents, Philip Aladura, Mama Banais Gbadamosi. They nurtured me with love and utmost affection. I miss them terribly. They are parents any we desire, loving, protecting, firm, and prophetic in their utterances. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I deeply appreciate you all for coming. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a fountain of glory divine, and of salvation, Purchase of love, born of the Spirit, worship it. This is my story. This is my story. This is my song. Serving my Savior, the Lord. This is my story. This is my song. Let's shall we have a thing.
Thank you very much. All of these, Inaugural, sure. Let's see. Let's put the
Please, a round of applause for them. Members of management, distinguished professors, deans of faculty, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have just listened to the 22nd inaugural lecture of this university. And by all standards, I have a feeling that we have all enjoyed this inaugural lecture. That goes as if for
The following dignitaries in our this afternoon. His Royal Majesty of Isaac Sunday Adele, I think on three. We are having back the door. What are you doing? Thank you very much. Mike. I'm very sorry, thanks for that. Going to it's all about the national school and all the ships that are coming in, you need to know nobody. Recognize our professor, who is the advancement law of life in fact for the country like that. So, I think your parents have been the faculty of the national resource University of Art. Professor Aaua has said, the head of the bank, social and economic policy, University of the Art. Professor Emmanuel, Department of Forestry and Wildlife Management, University of the Art. Professor Anthony Adesanya of Gbadamosi University. Professor O.A. Alaba, Marco Victor, Alaba University. Dr. Samuel, from that University of the Bar. Professors, so that just follow the suit. Listen to the inaugural lecture. It speaks English. We also join me with the Yoruba language. From beginning to time, people from the Logan who are also Israelis and French. This is academic. It's also the problem. If I go to bed, the family of our inaugural. You see me that here? Madam, And before let me say that, appreciate why children of the inaugural. This is PA Gbadamosi.
Able any problem? I should do not pass it better. Oh, good not to be there. I go for my husband. I'm proud of you. A good organization worldwide, including all the son of Peter and the entire local power. You made us proud of your organization. We save chat to you. We shape my safe chat in the chat. We can see. Safe chat. Access for that. I said this. Okay, I'll send this. Okay, number no. My phone is stuff. Machine.
Next, Inaugural lecturer. On behalf of the application of you, members of our students, for placing this important patient. This is what we do best to do in this department. And I'm sure we continue to do that. This is God bless you. Thank you.
Lọ́jọ́ bọ̀mí wa ẹ ti wà ń kàmpù. Yeah, but it's okay.
It's nice to be great.
Ṣé wàá bẹ̀ lọ́la? Ṣé wàá bẹ̀ lọ́la? What I will do? I'm a lawyer in checklist. I'm a wọlé akọ̀ndé kan fún àwọn akọ̀tún wà ló bí sí èdè láti sẹ́ndì àmì báńkì akọ̀tún kan fún àwọn ẹ̀rọ bẹ́ẹ̀ so àárọ̀ la máa pè ní láàárọ̀ la máa fi mọ fún àtẹ̀lẹ́ náà all right okay so that's all right okay.